Special Sunday supplement. Hot, humid Manhattan mind emission on the Toad Cam. In the Toad Bunker. The fine art of making mistakes. I have had many opportunities in my life to make many mistakes. I believe I've probably made at least 10, if not 100 times as many mistakes as many of my contemporaries have, who were given very clean, clear, low-friction paths to certain life goals. Their life pattern was established for them with the assistance of their parents or significant other family figures or support figures, and their aptitudes and skills were very quickly detected, and they were given the most appropriate, least confounding path directly to a goal. And my life was 180 degrees out of sync with that. My life has basically been a massive trial and error project, lurching from one huge nest of mistakes to another nest of mistakes, and learning a fantastic amount with each grappling with those mistakes, and each entering into unfamiliar territory, unknown paradigms, cultures which initially made little or no sense to me. And this constant encounter with the unpredictable, the inelegant, the confusing, the wrong-footed, ultimately, in my belief, has given me some strengths and given me some flexibilities and capacities, which I find to be very much underdeveloped, or non-developed, or I think in some cases even stigmatized in other people, where they feel the worst thing you can possibly do is to make a mistake, and the worst thing that can possibly happen is to look foolish in front of other people, or the most embarrassing thing that can happen is to be not wearing the right tie, or not saying the right phrase, or not having the right comeback. And I started thinking, I was noticing that these people, as they got older and they got around middle age and they passed 40 and they passed 45 and they got to 50, sure seemed to be awfully programmed, awfully structured by rote. There seemed to be a surprisingly little appreciation or surprisingly little room for spontaneity or serendipity in their lives. Did not really figure. It seemed that their lives had been very, very engineered and versus lived. Although I think a good life does need a certain degree of sophisticated engineering to get certain things done well and to avoid some really catastrophic mistakes. Yes, you do need some good engineering. But these were people whose lives were basically all about engineering. Every aspect, every step, everything was engineered, and it had to look right, and it had to have right specifications, and the blueprints to be milled correctly and riveted together. And it was very good structural engineering. It was good strategy if you were building bridges or putting up buildings or making parts or components or transmissions or gear systems. I have a wonderful strategy for that. It didn't seem to me to be the most fruitful or certainly the most interesting strategy for life. So as a result of that kind of living and those many mistakes and those many adventures I've had, and some of them I will be careful not to mention on YouTube, but they're quite interesting and memorable. So I've come to really enjoy mistakes, and sometimes when I'm making a YouTube, I'll generate something on a text generator, and I'll notice I misspelled it. I think, wow, I misspelled that word. I must look so ridiculous to all these people who are reading my YouTube, and there is this very serious, effortful statement I'm making, and here's a key word that's been misspelled. Oh my God. But I noticed this very interesting thing that happens when those, I think my unconscious mind is actually playing along here and kicking in a few little bits. And I notice when there's a key misspelling or a key misstatement or getting something, the key little thing wrong at just the right time, all of a sudden something wakes up in your unconscious mind. It's like, oh my God, it's a mistake, it's an error, you misspelled it, you misspelled that. And that's the thing that really sticks in your mind. That's really fascinating, where the strategic trainer, the strategic speaker, if you can do this, and this requires a quite significant amount of cooperation from the unconscious mind to do it at just the right time, in just the right way, to just the right degree. But when you can really artfully, strategically make little errors here and there, those are points where that little oh my God, oh my God, oh my God thing is going to flash in people's mind, and that's really going to stick. And so I've found that there is a brilliant, and I'm sure Erickson understood this and exploited this, but there is a brilliant way to utilize error, to utilize tactical error as a form of transcenduction. Because the minute you do an error, and if you can do it, the unconscious mind can give you just the right error at just the right moment. That's the point where the listener is going to go very much into trance. They're going to go into that error detection. Oh boy, it's an error trance. And whatever you say right after that, for about between 5 and 30 seconds after the error, that person's conscious mind is going to be so busy freaking out about the error, that stuff you say right after the error often goes in a very hypnotic way. So I probably shouldn't be telling you this. This is probably one of the state secrets of trance inducers and trance cultures, but I have noticed that many of the real masters, not just the people who are kind of coming up the steps, but the people who really get it and have been doing it for a long time and are very comfortable with their unconscious minds and very comfortable with themselves and very comfortable making mistakes, often tactically and strategically utilize moments of error, saying something, really just profoundly ridiculous, like, California is the biggest state on the east coast of the United States, and going on as if they had said nothing, making no sign that they caught it, completely playing along with it, and everybody in the room is going, oh my God, he just said California is the biggest state on the East Coast. That's totally, doesn't he know that's completely wrong? Bango, gotcha. So, and then whatever gets said for the next 30 seconds after that is just going to go zoop right into the unconscious mind. So there's a wonderful, clever little trick you can use. Learn how to use error and use mistake. And of course you don't want to do it with a point where you really have a lot of weight on the information value, but learn to make those unbelievably obvious mistakes, because that is one of those places where you will have a tremendous amount of very powerful transcenduction leverage. So have fun with that. That's one of the real secrets that you're not supposed to know. The secrets they don't want you to know. And boy, when they find out that I've told you, they are going to be very, very interested in tracking me down, and they will have a word with me.